All right. If you are stopping by for this first time, thanks for coming by. This is Greg, the Painter Servant. And yeah, we're going to do something not quite so normal. I added one more item. I haven't done it in a while, but there's some cool things happening on the stream today. As always, I am the Painter Servant, and you could find some of my socials if you just scan the QR code there. The top tab on my link tree, unfortunately, I probably need to remove that because I'm no longer part of the Commander format panel. But if you're interested and want to see my relevancy in the realm of Magic the Gathering, you could have seen that there. And then, we'll come up on the stream, and then, one of the things that I like to do are deck tech, so you'll take a look at that. And then if you came in from Sublime MTG Altars page, that's awesome. That's one of the other things that I'm heavily involved in, obviously. And also, if you're not already tracking, I am in the military, active duty Army, and just like to highlight that as well. And actually, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing, because I'll get into more detail about my items here. Okay, so Sublime TG Altars, if you want to check out our page, I'll go ahead and scan that QR code. My wife Michiko and her sister Kumiko do some amazing art when they hand paint acrylics onto Magic cards. Basically, they'll take any reference or idea that you want to visualize on a card, and then they'll hand paint it, hopefully to perfection and to meet your needs. So check us out there. Today, actually, the first item on our list, we're going to go ahead and just inspect and then just kind of be in awe of our altar that was recently done. We've been doing altars for probably close to 10 years now, and I think we've reached the level of altering where a lot of folks can consider us fairly high end, and I think our work speaks for ourselves, for themselves. Yeah. Okay, and then last but not least, the Alliance of Military Magic Players, also known as AMMP. I really like to connect with the communities. It doesn't really matter what service you're in, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, etc. If you're in the military or have served, or in the reserves or National Guard, feel free to reach out, and I'll try to connect you with our group. And hopefully we can line up games and do a whole bunch of other things where we could try to meet up in person or virtually. Okay. And I think that gets us to the next thing. So as I mentioned before on the post on Facebook on the Sublime MTG Altars page, I did like to do three things. First and foremost is highlight the altar that was recently done by my wife Michiko. And the second item on the list is to take a look at the deck tech. And then the third item on the list is going to be with reference to just gaming. Trying to playtest the decks that I have on Moxfield, and I'll get into that a little bit more detail, but we'll get there when the time comes. Okay, so I'll put the Vela deck away because that's the second item. The first item is Yuriko, done in the style of Stanley ArtGerm. So if you don't already know and are checking out our page, we really just thrive on reference art, and if we can do something that someone else does, I know there's some folks that have an opinion about that, but really there's a lot of work that goes into each of the altars that we've done. And we just like to visualize what people would like to see on cards. And I thought Psylocke from X-Men would be a great choice for Yuriko, the Tiger's Shadow. So let's just take a look at this a little bit in more detail. one thing that we really thrive on, I think, is thinly hand painted works, right? So a lot of people ask if our altars are thick. To be quite honest, they're not. And so we've been painting for just shy of 10 years, and both the gals, Michiko and Kumiko, have done an excellent job of ensuring that these cards are not thick at all. And so, you know, you might also notice that with these cards, sometimes you might see some very thready textures on the paint, and that's not something. We've gone far beyond painting like that, and so if you've seen some of our earlier altars, you probably notice that there's some threading there. Maybe it's not exactly matching with the reference that was supplied, but over the years we've definitely gained subject matter expertise and skill sets that I think are enviable. Why Psylocke on Yuriko? I think a lot of people that are fans of the Marvel series, Marvel Comics, they'll definitely appreciate this. I remember when I first saw Yuriko, and I really liked the card itself, and then I thought, okay, what are some things or some characters that you could probably substitute on these cards or on this particular card? And I guess two characters came to mind. I mean, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy VII, so really, I thought of Yuffie Kisaragi from Final Fantasy VII. The Materia Hunter. Easily the best character, I think, for Yuriko. However, I thought also that it'd be a great idea to eventually paint Psylocke onto Yuriko. And the thing is when you're playing Magic and you want to pimp out your decks, maybe sometimes you want to give it a little bit of character. And I saw this reference, and thank God for artists like Stanley ArtGerm, who've done a tremendous amount of work, in the vein of fan art. Because if this wasn't put out there, I don't know what else would be more appropriate. And when I saw this recently, I thought, hell yeah, this is something we should probably try to replicate. And of course, it's not our art, but we did basically transplant what Stanley did, which we thought was amazing, and put it on this. Now, if we actually take a look at this very closely, there's a lot of lines, there's a lot of different color paints, and of course, what we like to do is we aim for sexiness in characters. And we just love the idea of Yuriko being replaced by Psylocke. And there's a lot of different color patterns that we really needed to match the colors and everything and all the work that was put into this. I mean, I think it's amazing. You'll note, as I mentioned, there's the line work involved, and there's the patterns and things. So you have her blue outfit and her blue sleeves, and then the red, I guess, sash. They have individual, very, very intricate colored lighter red or blue lines. And so some people ask, like, okay, how much are these altars? How much do they cost? We have a price menu, and I think later when I try to post the guide, I don't have it up in my normal highlights. But you start thinking about how much work goes into this. and individually painting every single line is a lot of time and it's a lot of work, right? Besides those patterns, you start looking at the line work on the hair, you know, the palette of color that needs to be on the skin. Want to make sure it's very human. And then there's this cool little color scheme of pink, kind of neon pink, I guess you could say. How did we try to achieve that? Well, Michiko, you know, she has her techniques. Besides regular paintbrush, she uses airbrush. And there's, other than acrylics, we also use ink, so we can airbrush that and give that effect. So I thought that was amazing, very well captured. But yeah, if you like the altar, you know, give us a shout out, and you know, give us a follow, Sublime MTG Altars. We love the idea of internalizing what you want done on a card, and we just bring it to life. So oh yeah, I think other people have asked, okay, how do we get a chance to get this altar? Well, crazy thing was, as usual, I think is kind of the pattern lately. But what this is a stock altar. So what is a stock altar? It's an altar that we post on our page, and it is up for grabs. We sell it. And if you're one of the first few people that gets in the queue in line asking about it and you're ready to pull the trigger, go for it. And we'll make sure the transaction happen and it's yours. So this one, unfortunately, has been bought. Midnight Blue 999. Let's see. We bought a few altars from an artist in the past. Expensive, but so the work, is so wonderful, making it so worth it. Yeah. That's great. I'm glad you brought that up, because you know every artist is different, right? And every different artist that does altars, they have their own skill sets, and there's some people are really good at what they do, and some people have certain techniques that are awesome. We fell in this realm of just highly detailed works, and most of our stuff is sort of anime related. And so I think if people like our stuff, it's probably because they like anime. And I guess secondly, they've discovered that we're very good at basically doing highly detailed, very intricate works. So if people enjoy that, I hope they do. And they can always check us out and give us a follow. I guess going back to the thing I was about to say, this altar is not available. It was purchased earlier today. I posted it, I think, about 9 hours ago or so. It's almost 3 p.m. over here in New Mexico, and I think I posted it around 6 a.m. Anyway, it's sold. Whoever could not get a chance to buy it, I'm sorry. Someone else picked it up, and we'll try to offer things like this in the future. Another question a lot of people ask is, hey, can you repeat altars, or can you do the exact same thing on a card? And I had a few queries earlier today. And they're like, "Hey, I want this card done again. Can you do it?" The unfortunate thing is, we don't repeat. We don't repeat our altars again. It's a single altar, and we try to make sure the uniqueness of the card, as it's in the hands of someone else, whoever it's bought it or whoever commissioned it. We want them to know that it is a very unique card, and they will never see it ever again in anyone else's hands unless they happen to sell it or whatever. But this is a one-of-one. This is basically a one-of-one, and that's what we try to articulate is. you want to have a card that, if it is at the helm of your commander deck, you want it to be very special to you and your game, and no one else will enjoy it as much as you will, right? Anyway, yeah, again, I hope you liked that. It was a very cool altar that we did. I'm going to go ahead and sleeve this up. Because it is going to the buyer tomorrow morning, and I'm going to shoot him a tracking number, and I think he's going to enjoy this a lot. Probably going to turn a lot of heads at tables, because that's what they do. That's what these altars do. And if they don't, maybe they don't inspire any sort of emotional feelings like that, then maybe that's not for you. But for some people, it is. All right, we're going to go and throw that in the hard plastic cover. Just be very careful about this whole thing, because if it drops on it, it could damage the card. And yep. Really love these things. We just started putting them in these hard plastic covers. So we have a perfect fit. It fits in there pretty nicely. I'm going to close that up and get this out. We got to get this out in prior to email, because I think the buyer wants to put this in a game immediately. And, just depending on, why is this doing this? Depending on the queue, so like it depends on the time of day, how many people really get a chance to get after these cards, right? I mentioned it's a first come first serve basis, and oh, I'm doing this slightly wrong. There it is. Okay. First come, first serve basis. I think we had about 15 people very interested in this. It went to the first guy that decided they were going to pull the trigger. And I think he was technically number 7 or so in the queue. I don't remember, to be honest. But he locked it in, and I think he's going to be happy with this. He won't be disappointed. All right, so one last look at that. It's in the glass case now, and it's going to get shipped out tomorrow. Very cool. And let's put that away, because I think we'll start the second segment of the stream. And what are we going to do? We're going to show the deck. And I'm going to go ahead and just post the Moxfield link for Vela the Night-Clad. Why did I choose Vela today? So it turns out I was actually engaged about this deck via Instagram. And if you're tired of some of the old, or like some of the decks that are like blue-black, I don't know what are the more mainstream ones. I know Yuriko definitely is, but I have a blue-black deck. Other than Vela, it's a Lazav style of deck. But this one I was enamored with long time ago. I think if you could see the print on Vela the Night-Clad, this is from Commander's Arsenal. So blue-black, it's a very cool set of colors. The mirror. Yeah, going back to Instagram. So Instagram, I had a guy reach out to me. He's like, hey, he reached out to me on the Sublime MTG Altars Instagram page. And he was like, I found your deck on Moxfield. Could you give me an idea of how the deck wins? And I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, anytime I could speak about Commander or just talk about Commander, I'm all about it. And I took some time out to answer his questions and this, that, and whatever. And I thought, wow, that's awesome. Reached out to me, the Painter Servant, and it was through the Sublime MTG Altars page, which is totally fine. That was really cool. Anyway, so what is Vela the Night-Clad? If you read into it, Vela has some cool abilities. her first ability is Intimidate. And it says, other creatures you control have Intimidate. Whenever Vela the Night-Clad or another creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. It's 4 colorless, a blue and a black for its CMC, and it is a 4/4. So what's the main deal with this deck? It's quasi pseudo Infect, but there's some shenanigans where it takes advantage of your creatures leaving the battlefield, so that your opponents will lose life. So let's just kind of go through that, and we'll start off with the lands, and we'll go from there. So here I have first is Urza Saga, just a great utility card in general. Actually, the main reason why this was in the deck is because I shared the same land base for Vela as in my Lazov deck, and instead of, or other than just getting Soul Ring, I'm probably going to get Mana Vault off of the 3rd chapter, Resolving. Also, there's some other great cards that you can get out of that, especially in my Lazov deck, but it stays in. Igmoth Nexus for your Infect package. And so why is Infect important? Because generally speaking, if you're wanting to play Infect, you want to get in unblocked. So if you don't know what the Intimidate mechanic is, Intimidate allows your creatures to essentially become unblockable, except by creatures that share the same color, or if they're artifact creatures. So it turns out a lot of these Infect style creatures are either black or artifact. So if they're an artifact, they actually can be blocked by other than artifact creatures. But if they're black, they obviously can be blocked by either an artifact creature or a black creature, right? And then there's some blue ones in here as well. So moving forward, Cabal Coffers, because it combines with your Urborg. I forgot to pair that up here. Urborg. If you're playing black in any deck, and ideally your monocolor deck, but also your 2-color decks or even 3-color decks, and you decide you want to throw in a Cabal Coffers, you definitely need your Urborg. So that's that. Let's kind of skip over this. Ancient Tomb, because it's awesome. Halimar Depths. A lot of people don't really remember this card. I mean, it's a common, and early game it's great. It allows you to set up your cards the way you want, and generally speaking, it's not that bad of a card. Temple of Deceit for your Scry. Morphic Pool. Watery Grave, pretty awesome. Reliquary Tower. Honestly, Reliquary Tower, I don't think it's necessary, but it's great utility card for making sure you have a lot more cards in hand instead of having to discard the hand size. More of your dual type 2-color lands, Darkflick Shores, your fetches to get the right mana that you need. Of course, if you follow my stream, you know that I play a lot with dual lands. So obviously Underground Sea has to be in there. Drowned Catacomb. Academy Ruins. Let's talk a little bit about this. So why Academy Ruins? I mentioned before, if I want to get in for Infect, I want my artifact creatures to go in to connect. And if they die, or any other artifacts that I have end up going to the graveyard, and I need to be able to do some recursion, so that's good. Nykthos for your colored pips that you need, and this nets some pretty good mana. Probably not too much mana, but nets a lot of really good mana. Hey, what's going on, Corazon? What's up? Let's see. So here, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Vela the Night-Clad, and I'm just going through the deck tech. Darkstill Citadel. You're gonna see 2 other artifact lands in here, and you're gonna be like, okay, why the heck do you have that? So we have Darkstill Citadel, and we have Seat of the Synod, and then we have Vault of Whispers. Right. So if I do an artifact heavy deck, I'm going to include the artifact lands. So Darksteel Citadel is cool. Then you get your blue and your black versions. And I'll mention this later when I talk about Metal Worker, because Metal Worker's in the deck. But the more artifacts that you can get in your hand to have Metal Worker just activate for 2 colors each. I mean that's a shit ton of mana that you want to have early on. River of Tears, more of your dual type lands. Underground River, Sunken Ruins, Demir Aqueduct, Darkwater Catacombs, more fetches, Sunken Hollow, and let's look at these other really cool lands. So there's one, this is a Phyrexia, all will be one. I think this came from the special bundle. So I really love the land, these particular lands. So I have 4 swamps. I have 1 black. Do I have the blue-black indestructible artifact land? So I actually I didn't put that in this deck. Part of it is I honestly haven't quite kept up to date on that. I do have those indestructible artifact lands. I think in not the blue-black ones, but I do have it in a 4-color non-black deck. So it's your white, blue, red, green colors. But I didn't think to put it in here. I probably should do that. That's a good idea. I'll look into it, and then that'll just replace something else. A lot of people ask me, okay, how many lands are in your deck? Usually I average out at about 33. Bojuka Bog, so maybe I'll include that indestructible artifact land for the 34th land. Bojuka Bog, great utility land to exile opponents' graveyards, or just one of them, right? Then I have this card called Mirrex. So Mirrex is cool because it creates a Phyrexian Might. So it's another artifact creature style. Well, the card is an artifact creature, but the land produces a Might which has Toxic 1. So if you're not familiar with Toxic 1 or Toxic, the mechanic, go back and check that out. I think it's from Phyrexia All Will Be One / March of the Machines, etc. But it basically acts like Infect, except it'll still deal combat damage in the form of life loss, but it also hit for a poison counter. So it's an in-between, I would say meld between normal Infect and then just normal damage. You can get both in. Obviously, Rhystic Study, great card. The thing about Rhystic Study is a lot of people are like, oh man, it needs to get banned. I mean, I think it's fine. Only because I have a lot of copies of Rhystic Study, and I don't want this darn thing to ever get banned. So we'll leave WotC to do all of that. But for now, I'm going to enjoy my Rhystic Studies. Phyresis. Okay, so this is a great card, not just to put on your creatures, but also on your opponent's creatures. So it could become very political. Recently, I was playing, I think I had it on the stream, maybe I didn't, I don't remember. But I put this on an opponent's Tifa, martial artist. And instead of killing me, he decided, why kill me and then not have the benefit of killing the other opponents instead before he does, right? So Phyresis gives creatures Infect. I think it's awesome. Omniscience is cool for basically the primary reason it exists. So generally speaking, I could probably get this out fairly quickly from either mana or... Actually, no, it's just mana. Like, I can't cheat it in like with Show and Tell because that's not in the deck. But Omniscience, you get to play everything in your hand except for lands. Necrogen Communion. So what you probably will also notice is I really like foils. I like to pimp out my deck. And like I wish I could commission my wife and her sister to just like alter my decks, but you know, that's an injustice to clients and buyers because I prefer that they were able to use their time exclusively to realize their dreams. But going back to the foil aspect of cards, I opened, probably a collector box. I found this foil. I was like, oh wow, this is awesome, and I could put it in a deck. And so my Vela, it's almost completely foiled. It's cool. They're not all foiled, the cards, but I'd like it to get there. This is one of those that's great, because it'll give your creatures toxic, but also when the creature dies, you can put it back onto the battlefield as long as this was previously attached on it. Another great card that I want to point out is this card called Equilibrium. So if you recall, Vela, what she does, she already has Intimidate, but there may be certain times where if you're not trying to bounce your opponent's creatures, you could bounce your own creatures to get the effects that they have on their abilities if you play it again. So you could bounce your creature, but then also you'll have a trigger because Vela triggers when your creatures leave the battlefield, each opponent loses a life. So leaving the battlefield isn't just dying, it could be getting exiled, it could be being bounced. But Equilibrium is a solid card to put in this deck. I really love it. Then we have Corrupted Conscience. So let's say there's super sweet cards that are being played on your opponent's side. You can gain control of them through this enchantment aura, and it'll give those creatures Infect. So I like to put this on flyers. I like to put this thing on tramplers, maybe some Death Touchers, and yeah, that's just one more opportunity to be able to hit others for Infect. Okay, next card is Vidalcan Orrery. Great card utility wise. It's just awesome. And sometimes because you're playing blue, you can intimidate, not necessarily the mechanic, but you can intimidate your opponents by holding up mana. So if you have this in play, it's kind of like having a counterspell in hand when you have 2 blue open. Loco Dice GR Moxfield. Yeah, I actually put my Moxfield deck link for Vela up above, so you could check that out. Okay, so then, damn it, I kind of suck. I should have organized this a little bit better. Then you have a bunch of swords that are really great. Sword of Feast and Famine, just right out the gate. Probably either the first or the best sword or the second best sword. It just depends. Because Sword and Fire and Ice is right up there as well, because you could smack a creature, draw a card, untap your lands, cause someone to discard a card. And then this one, Sword of Fortune Frontier, I decided this is a pretty freaking awesome card. And so it wasn't recent when I added this. It was right when the set came out, but I'm like, oh my god, this thing, it's almost like Sword of Fire and Ice, except you could play out that card pretty much immediately. So you're exiling the top 2 cards of your library, and then you may play those cards this turn, and you can play an additional land. So the 2 abilities here is putting additional land in, and then playing the other card. So it's like drawing 2 cards. I think they're cool. That's cool. Let's see, the Artifact Mana Package. The Artifact Mana Package. So I'm just going to very quickly mention Thran Dynamo as awesome. And first off, again, it's foil, it's cool. FTV Realms was the first time I was able to pick up a Thran Dynamo in foil. I was not able to afford the Thran Dynamo version in Urza's Destiny in foil. So this is a great card, obviously for the 3 mana, but what I like to do is if I play Thran Dynamo and I have a Phyrexian Metamorph in my hand, and you'll see that later, I could pay 3, pay the 2 life to play the Phyrexian Metamorph, and then I'll have another copy of Thran Dynamo, and then that's like 6 mana that I'll have later. Like by turn 5, I'll have 11 mana. And of course, any one of these others could just be copied with the Phyrexian Metamorph, but I really like doing it with Thran Dynamo. Sol Ring, obviously, is a must in every commander deck. Mox Opal. Mox Opal for all of your artifacts that are in the deck. Mana Vault. Hedron Archive. So Hedron Archive, not a lot of people like this card for some reason. I love it. It's not just another artifact, but you can sacrifice it to add or to draw 2 cards. So, I guess I'm about halfway into the deck. I forgot to mention, but I think on Moxfield it lists this deck. What's the bracket info? So there's 6 game changers in the deck so far. We've covered Ancient Tomb, Rhystic Study, and then I just passed Mana Vault, so that's 3. There's going to be 3 others coming up. It's a bracket 4 according to Moxfield, but it actually plays more like a high 3. And, you know, I really put it out there like that because it's not very combo-y. I mean, there is one combo that synergizes extremely well and usually kills the table off fairly quickly. But it's not designed to win earlier than, I would say, turn 7. Because the primary winning line is to try to kill people off with Infect. Now, it's hard to kill people off with Infect, especially if you have 3 opponents. So if I can kill off 2, that's great. But if I can't kill the 3rd, then I have backup options to kill them with some of my synergistic combos. Okay, anyway, we just finished the Artifact Mana package. Oh wait, no, we didn't finish, my bad. So Gilded Lotus. I can also copy Gilded Lotus with a Phyrexian Metamorph, so that's another thing I like to do. Dimir Signet, for obvious reasons. Commander Sphere. I like to put as probably 10 to 14 mana sources in decks, and then about the same amount of draw. So Commander Sphere does both, just like Hedron Archive does. Let's see, where else? Okay, I think we're just about done with the artifacts. But Grafted Exoskeleton for more Infect. Glistening Sphere is actually really cool. So initially when I saw this, I was like, man, this is kind of a shit card. But in the right deck, like Vela, and you have your Infect package going on, it's cool because you can proliferate, and then you'll have mana as much as your Gilded Lotus if you have opponents with 3 or more poison counters on them. So that's a great card to have in the deck. And it's only 3 costs too, so I mean, even though it comes into play tapped, and you have a condition where it can only produce 3 mana if the opponents have a sufficient amount of counters, it's still great, I think. Cranial Plating. I love this card ever since I remember seeing it in Modern. And you had your cards like Arcbound Ravager and all that playing Affinity. And so it just made sense, not just as an artifact, but they get +1/+0 for each artifact. So you have a ton of artifacts, and you have Infect, and you have other ways of being able to kill people through combat damage, because Intimidate allows you to do that. Expedition Map for your Urborg or Cobalt Coffers. Usually those are the targets. Maybe Ancient Tomb, but usually I go for Urborg in most of the early cases. Then Biden Athasa for your draw package. Also a really cool thing that it does is if you pay the 2 creatures you control, or your opponent's control, attack this turn if able, so you could do doing someone else's turn. They're forced to attack, which means they won't have blockers the next time you go in and swing, despite whether or not Vela's on the battlefield making them have Intimidate, and they'll just be able to go in. So it's blue for your version of gold, I suppose. So your interaction is going to come in the form of counterspells. Some like Undermine, great card. I remember when I first played Kitchen Table Magic with the boys, and we were playing Counter Magic, or we were playing Land Destruction, or we were playing, you know, whatever it was. It could be combo, or it could be sneak attack, you know, with Sarah Avatar, whatever. But then you had really cool cards when Invasion came out with Undermine, and the white version with blue is Absorb. And I thought, hey, this is a great card to have just for flavor. Counter target spell, its controller loses 3 life. Prologue to Phyresis. Drawing and puts poison counters on your opponent, so that's great. Pondify. Sweet removal for 1. Man, I mean, there's just some really cool cards, especially in foil. So grab those up every chance you get. Trade for them. I mean, I like foils, so why not? It's just another way to pimp out your deck. Mana Drain, for obvious reasons. Your counter spell with extra mana. And I think that's it for... Wait, no. Hold on. Okay, no, there's more instants. I thought I was going to end there. I forgot that Hatred is an instant. Hatred is awesome. Not just for Infect, but you could get in commander damage with Vela, which is fine. The only bad thing about this deck is you don't really get life back in most cases. People are probably hard pressed to try to kill you because of the Infect package when they start realizing that's what the deck does. And so you might be at lower life totals to be able to make the most out of this. But so if you're in that boat, what you're going to want to do is target your Infect creatures that can get in relatively easily. And I like Inkmoth Nexus, so that's the next best card that you would pair with Hatred when you're attacking. Plus X plus 0, right? Commander damage, try to get to the 21 commander damage easily, or 10 Infect counters. Poison counters, sorry. And, you know, later on, I'm going to end up trying to post this to YouTube, and if you have any comments about any of these cards, feel free to add them and just talk about it. Experimental Augury, some, you know, card manipulation, deck manipulation, with the added bonus of proliferating your poison counters. Dead to the Kami. This is, I'm not sure if this is a great card to have, but it was kind of the early substitute for enchantment removal that I thought it could be played. I know there's a lot more enchantment removal now. Will I decide to put it in? It just depends. But this one at the time made sense to me. And if you're playing against decks like Narset, Enlightened Master, where they're likely not playing any other creature than Narset, then you can have them exile Narset instead because you're not targeting her. She has hexproof. Cyclonic Rift for obvious reasons, so that's another game changer that's in the deck. Returning all your opponent's non-land permanents that you don't target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand, so that's all your opponent's stuff for 2 mana or 7 mana. Cryptic Command for flavor of it being foil and really cool looking. Probably not one of the best interactions out there, but it does a lot of really good work. Allows you to do 1 of 4 modes: 1 to draw a card, 1 to bounce a permanent, 1 to tap down tap down. I think it's opponent's creatures. It might be tap down target player's creatures. I forget. And what is the 4th mode? That's the problem with textless cards, is you forget what it does sometimes. Draw a card, tap down creatures, draw a card, tap down creatures, return a permanent, and god dang it. Okay, someone remind me what that is. It's all good, but it has 4 modes. Counterspell, obviously, and I think that finishes out the instance. Okay, last note that I want to mention about foils. So some people are like, "Oh man, look at these foils. What the hell? How much money do you have?" I don't have a lot of money. That's I don't think a lot of people have a lot of money. But what I've learned over the years is if you want to get certain cards and you're also a collector, you might as well pick up the foils. Now, if you have non-foils, that's fine. Obviously, I'm not going to be an elitist and all in this case, but I like the look of it. They're shiny. They're cool. I picked this Counterspell up when it was like maybe $10. I think when they announced Counterspell to be essentially reprinted in Modern and legal in Modern, then it was fine. And that price skyrocketed, so I was happy. But pick up those foils, pick up altars, pick up whatever it is that you like and that you're happy about. Don't let other people put you down, right? Just enjoy the game and enjoy, all the reasons why Magic the Gathering exists. And if it makes you happy, go for it. Okay. Let's go on to the sorceries. And I'll say Rite of Replication for the end, because I want to talk a little bit more about that. Drowning Ecor, whatever, proliferate and target removal, which is great. Demonic Tutor, another game changer, so I think that was game changer number 5. Just great card for searching out libraries, obviously. The other alternative, and probably more expensive depending on the printing, is your Vampiric Tutor, which is instant speed, 1 black. I put Demonic Tutor in my black decks as much as I can if I have that many copies. Deadly Tempest, really cool card. Really cool card. And I've been batting this around for a while. And the issue that I had originally with Deadly Tempest is that it's a 6 mana sorcery. Not just that it's a sorcery, but it's 6 mana. What the hell? But this also has the added bonus of basically life loss that will trigger basically twice. Right, so Deadly Tempest, when it resolves, destroy all creatures. Each player loses life equals the number of creatures he or she controlled this way. So you'll lose life, that's okay. You probably don't have that many. Maybe even if you do, because you have like a Mirror Battlesphere out and you had a bunch of Mirror. So when your creatures die, you lose life, but then because of Vela, your opponents will lose life for the life that basically you lost due to your creatures dying also, or being destroyed. All is Dust. So this is a contentious card because why would you put it in a colored deck? Well, it turns out there's not that many of your blue or black permanent type cards in this deck. So you profit off of a lot of your artifact creatures, your colorless cards, even like Sire of Stagnation, which is by design, it's a colorless Eldrazi, so this won't hit that. But great card to have, really awesome board wipe. And then last but not least, let's talk about Rite of Replication. So I mentioned before that if you can kill off 2 of your opponents, but can't quite kill the third, but let's say you just want to try to win the game and you have 9 mana. And all of your opponents are probably at less than 30 life. So Rite of Replication is awesome because what you're doing is you're actually going to copy Vela. You're going to copy Vela and you'll kick it. You don't want to copy Vela once because it's lame. You want to copy Vela 5 times. I'm sorry. You want to put a token of that target creature that is a copy of it. You want to do that and kick it so that you can put 5 of those tokens. So what happens with that? Your Vela and your Rite of Replication, right, after it makes your 5 copies, so 5 more versions of Vela come out and they are put on the stack. All of the abilities that they have are the same, but due to the legend rule, you can't have more than 1 Vela on the battlefield. So what happens is you have 5 extra Velas. They can't stick around. They have to die immediately, but because they leave the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life for each of those. So there's 5 triggers on their own, and then there's the additional trigger for each time from Vela. So you have 5 leaving the battlefield. They have 6 total triggers, all of your opponents will lose 30 life off of Rite of Replication, copying Vela 5 times. So that's a great card. Let's go to Palinchron and Venser because they are kind of sort of the same for the combo that's needed. Your Venser is great so that you can flash in and then have some interaction, returning spells or permanents. That's great. But what I like to do with Venser is if I have Omniscience out, I'll just bring in Venser and my Vela's in play. I will bounce Venser back to my hand, just keep doing that. And I think this is kind of the motion of infinite combo, right? So you'll have opponents lose infinite life because of Omniscience and Vela being in play, and your Venser bouncing itself. Palinchron, same kind of deal. And, you know, if you saw one of my other streams prior to this, you're probably like, what the hell, dude? You have the same combo in every blue variant of a deck. What's the matter with you? Honestly, I started out playing Commander in 2013. I was at Joint Base Lewis and McCord, and friends of mine were running the same exact kind of combo. And at the time, no one really thought about the reserve list being what it was and how much these cards are. So I ended up picking up foil version of Palinchron, Deadeye Navigator, etc. And we were just doing the same thing, you know, bouncing, creating infinite mana, Deadeye, soul bonding with Palinchron, untapping 7 lands, bouncing each other, which creates infinite mana, and then also if Vela's in play, you create infinite life loss. Now, you don't need Deadeye Navigator if you have Omniscience pairing with Palinchron. So when Palinchron enters, you'll untap 7 lands. Then you pay 4 to return to your hand and play for free with Omniscience, do the same thing, Vela's in play, and just go to town and, you know, cause infinite life loss. Trinket Mage, great card. I generally just, this ETBs, I'm looking for Soul Ring, or I'm looking for Mana Ball for that quick mana. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it depends, but obviously late game, are you going to need your Soul Ring? Are you going to need your Mana Vault, right? No. But why not? Just pull it out. And, well, that's what she said. But Trinket Mage, get your Soul Ring, get your Mana Vault out early, play it, have fun. Torrential Gearhulk. So I think the reason why I put this in here primarily was because it was an artifact. And I think I had to spread out my Snapcaster Mages, which I put in other decks. So instead of having a Snapcaster Mage, I had a Torrential Gearhulk. The Gearhulk's cool. I probably would have put the black one if I really cared about it. But it does the same thing that Snapcaster Mage does, except it costs 4 more. And it's a pretty sweet 5/6 body that you could flash in and then probably just declare blockers when the time comes. Thassa, God of the Sea. So again, I was playing in 2013 Commander, and I wanted to build a blue-black deck. Vela was a really great choice, and Thassa around the same time obviously came out. Everything in the Theros block was just, if it was a mythic, it was awesome. It was expensive and did so much work in Standard. Perforos comes to mind, right? It's the same set. But Thassa allows your creatures to continue to basically become unblockable. So like if you didn't have Vela out and the Intimidate mechanic, giving your creatures basically unblockable, you can have this. And then you also scry at your upkeep. So that's card manipulation, deck manipulation. Phyrexian Metamorph, I mentioned this earlier, copy your artifacts. Really what you want to do is you want to copy your artifacts that produce mana or have some ETB or have something really cool that they could do. Or copy your opponent's stuff, because it doesn't just copy your things, it can copy whatever creature or artifact is on the battlefield. So I have Stagnation, I mentioned that, so this is a really cool card that allows you to take advantage of your All is Dust, but also really the main benefit of this thing is when a land ETBs under an opponent's control, then you exile the top 2 cards of the library and you draw 2 cards. So people forget about this card because they probably would prefer your Consecrated Sphinx. Now, Consecrated Sphinx is always great. It's in this deck, right? But why not have a Sire if it's devoid, colorless, because that's what the mechanic was at the time for Eldrazi during, I think this is Battle for Zendikar. And it's a 5/7 body, so it's awesome. Exiling the top 2 cards, drawing 2 cards is amazing. Well, you're not exiling your stuff, you're exiling your opponent's top 2 cards of their library. Okay, Sidisi Undead Vizier, whatever. Great card. I mean, it's just another way for you to get after your tutoring. So why Sidisi? It's 5 mana. It kind of sucks. Whatever. Well, 1 is foil. 2 is you can exploit. So if Vela's out, cool. Exploit. Each opponent loses life. No big deal. And just find the card that you need. What am I usually looking for if it's late game and I didn't play a Demonic Tutor already? Honestly, it might be Urborg. It could be Cabal Coffers. I might be in a position to play out Omniscience, hardcast it, fine. And maybe that's the card I need to win the game. So, I mean, I don't have to play Vampiric Tutor. I don't have to play Demonic Tutor. But while one Demonic Tutor is in here and no Vampiric Tutor is, then I'll choose a reasonable substitute that is still pretty cool and I could take advantage of the abilities of not just my commander, but my other cards have. Sheoldred, Whispering 1, great card for recursion. I loved it in foil, and it needed to go somewhere. I decided Vela was the right choice. Kadoltha Forge Master, and I'm actually going to point out the one card that I basically search out every single time with Kadoltha Forge Master. So already you have a lot of artifacts. You know, you can sacrifice your artifact lands. Usually I just end up sacrificing Kadoltha itself and 2 other artifacts because it can sacrifice itself. So I can search my library for an artifact card and then put it onto the battlefield. So what I'll probably do is I'll do this at my opponent's end step, bring out Blightsteel Colossus, and then proceed to smack face with this thing, which is awesome. I don't know. Not sure how many people like to play Infect, but, you know, as you're building decks and you're tired of the same old combos and you're tired of the normal way of winning through combat and you don't have an Infect deck, you might consider it and then put it together. Blightsteel Colossus, 12 mana, really high, cheat it out with Kadoltha Forge Master or something else. Yeah, I'll just pull out the other card that I can cheat it out with. I could cheat it out with a Master Transmuter, right? So, Trample, Infect, Indestructible, 11/11. If it'll be put into a graveyard from anywhere, it has to be shuffled in. Now, how do I get into play? Kadoltha Forge Master or something like Master Transmuter or a Cabal Coffers, Urborg, whatever, get your 12 mana as quickly as you can. I can return a mirror. I could return an artifact land, and then I can just put this directly into play as quickly or as late as turn 5, right? Just depending. Mirrored Battlesphere, another thing you could put into play from those cards that I mentioned. Great card because if you put Infect on it, this is amazing. If you put Infect on Mirrored Battlesphere, there's a very good chance that if it becomes unblockable due to Intimidate or something similar, like Thassa or whatever, is when it swings, you tap 4 of your mirrors and you give it +X+0, and then it also deals that damage to a defending player. So if it has Infect, that's immediately 4 poison counters when you tap it down and it deals that damage. And then when it goes in, it's 4 plus the X, which is 4. And that you've already done 4. That means you'll do 12 Infect damage to your opponent. I love this card. It's amazing. Nirkana Revenant. So 6 mana. Urborg's out. Tap your swamps for double the mana and have at it. Also, why not pump her up if you got nothing else to do? And she'll connect because she might have Intimidate, right? That's pretty awesome. Next is Maul Drifter. Maul Drifter. It looks like it sucks, but you generally are just going to evoke this thing. So when it enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards, but if it's evoked, you sacrifice it when it comes into play. So it does have that downside to it, but if you have the mana and just want to spend 5 mana to do it, to hard cast it, that's fine. Draw 2 cards. This is part of the draw package that I have in the deck. And then Metalworker. So I mentioned Metalworker earlier, but oh yeah, it's foil. Foil, by the way. How much is this goddamn card? It's pretty high up there, but if you were like me and played in the early to late 90s, you might have had a chance to pick up a foil. And I think at the time I might not have spent more than $100 on the foil. Maybe at most 300, but this card is at least over $1,500 now. Glen Elendra Archmage. I've been meaning to foil this out, but I did not get the chance. I think I put my foil in Child of Alara, so I need to make up for that. Counter magic. Good good removal. Another counter magic type card. But why did I decide to put Urtai Resurrected in? I think it's cool, even though your opponents draw cards after one of his enters the battlefield triggers. It's still a 3/2 body of flash. Yeah, but it's not just countering a spell. You could also counter an activated ability or trigger ability, and then the controller draws a card. It's foil. It's awesome. Why not? Put it in. Consecrated Sphinx. You know, interesting story about Consecrated Sphinx. I remember when I was getting back into Magic and I was at Joint Base Wisdom Court in Washington. And I was actually into eBay. I was buying collections. I was reselling. And then I resold a collection that I ended up buying. And I lost some money on it. But in that particular collection, I remember there were like 4 Consecrated Sphinx. And at the time, I don't think anyone really cared about it because Commander wasn't that big of a deal at the time. But I regret selling that collection. I think it went to someone either in the United States or in Canada. And I felt bad about it later because not only did I lose some money on it, but there were some really great cards in there. Like I think there was that one blue enchantment. I think it's on the reserve list from Legends, where it allows all players to reveal the top card of their library, or I think it's their hand. Is it Field of Dreams? I don't remember, but that was in that collection. More Infect through Skithiryx. Awesome, because if you have the right amount of mana, you can make it have haste immediately, and then you can also regenerate it. More Infect, Plague Mirror, but also some mana acceleration if you needed it. Phyrexian Crusader. Awesome card. Attach one of the sword or one or more swords that are in the deck on the creature, and just go to town. First strike, pro red, pro white already. If you put swords on it, basically it gets after all the protection from all the other colors that you need, and it already has that on the body, and it has Infect. Mirror Convert, pretty awesome. Toxic 1, and also life. If you pay it 2 life, you can have 1 mana of any color. Icor Rats. So, what do we do with Icor Rats? We can Soul Bond it to Deadeye Navigator. We can return it to your hand with Equilibrium, and then just play it again. Ensure your opponents have the poison counters that they need so that you can win and they lose. But great card to put in there. Vraska Betrayal's Sting. So, freaking awesome card. Drawing. You can complete it by, instead of paying the black mana for that pip, that Phyrexian mana pip. You pay 2 life, and when you do that, I think what it does is it starts, or it enters the battlefield with 2 less loyalty counters on it. Usually I just pay it in full, but if you needed it out faster, you could do that to draw a card, proliferate, try to win the game. Then this -2 ability is actually really awesome. Target creature becomes a treasure artifact with sacrifice it, add 1 mana of any color, and loses all other card types and abilities. Awesome. It's kind of like your version of Elk, or Oko, creating a bunch of Elk. But instead you're making it into a treasure. Whether or not that mana is necessary right then and there, but it does that, and you can do that to commanders, any creatures, etc. Tezzeret, Agent of Balas. Great card. I think I ended up owning a foil copy early. Just didn't know where to put it in. This ended up being the natural spot for it. Creates, if your artifacts are just kind of laying around, they're not doing anything, they could become creatures. You could get cards in your hand from the +1, get a bunch of artifacts into your hand. Actually, 1 artifact you put into your hand after being on top 5 cards. And then the -4 is actually really nice because you could do it on probably the second turn that he's out. Because if you have a lot of artifacts and you could just win the game a little bit quicker, you can cause all of your or one of your opponents to lose a lot of life. So that's something to do. Tezzeret the Seeker, awesome card. Every deck where I run a sword of some kind, this is in the deck. And so I usually -3 off of Tezzeret because I can -X and search out my library to get a artifact with that cost and put it directly into play. It bypasses counterspell, counter magic. If this is already in play, your swords, they don't get countered, they just come in. And then the +1 to untap artifacts is great in general because you can, untap your Mana Vault, Soul Ring, Thran Dynamo, Phyrexian Metamorph that was copying one of those artifacts, and just get a shit ton of mana. So that's the deck. That's the deck. I wanted to show that, one, because someone from Instagram reached out and said, hey, I like your deck, can you explain how it wins? I was like, that is freaking awesome. Thank you for asking. Here's what it does and how it wins. And it's a pretty deck. It's a pretty cool deck. It's shiny, has some cool stuff in it. And I love it. It's one of my more original decks for Vela. And I think Rite of Replication is probably one of the cards that at the time I didn't know about it, and then when I discovered it, I was like, okay, this is a good deck to keep around. I'm not gonna break it up. And what else can I say about that? Do I break up decks? I think I've broken up maybe a couple decks once or twice, but otherwise I generally keep them around. If I did break up a deck that I recall, it was I was playing Doran the Siege Tower because I was trying to make something out of Abzan. Doran seemed kind of slow. I changed it to Anafenza, the Foremost. She ended up being very slow, and I was like, what the hell do I do? So I'm going to play Gave, and Gave was kind of the pseudo starting type commander for your Abzan decks, and I loved it. It was awesome. Then I discovered there's some other great Abzan commanders as the years went by, but I generally don't break up decks, and this is not a deck I intend to break up. So if you enjoyed looking at Vela the Night-Clad, that's awesome. I'm going to post the deck list again in the chat. So if you want to take a look at that, go ahead. Vela, you don't see her often, but when you do, it's like, wow, okay. But how would you build your Vela? I mean, like I said, I built it using Infect. There's some combo shenanigans in there. I'm sure if people build Vela, it might be maybe not Infect, but it might be a lot of either Eldrazi or artifact creatures, which is cool. And then just getting in for unblockable due to Intimidate, right? Okay. I'm actually just going to show the deck list on Moxville. Let me just do that really quick, because all I've been doing is just showing off the cards. And this should show up. Yep, I didn't quite transition that good, but on the screen is the Vela the Night-Clad deck. And if you don't use Moxfield, it's I don't know, just figure out what's good for you. But I build all my decks in Moxfield. They've had the added bonus of making sure everyone understands what possible bracket is in. This is bracket 4 because 6 game changers. I outlined all of them during the stream. It's not a game 3 because it has more than 3. I'm sorry, it's not a bracket 3 because it has more than 3 game changers. It has 6. But does it really mean it's a bracket 4? I think that's up to you and your pod as they figure this out, right? But bracket 4, I think it's a low 4, high 3. You know, if that helps you do your rules or conversations, that's great. If it doesn't, it's up to you. Just do whatever you want and have fun. Okay, so 3 planeswalkers, 25 creatures, 5 sorceries, 10 instants, 17 artifacts, 6 enchantments, and then 33 lands. So as I mentioned before, I do 33 lands. Maybe 34. If I have a lands matter type deck, I might go to 38. But I like to settle down at 33 if it is a non-CEDH deck. If I play CEDH, it'll likely be below 30. But for what it is here, there's enough artifact mana to complement the lack of lands. So it makes up for it. If you have any questions about the deck list, feel free to reach out and I can elaborate on why I think it's pretty awesome. It may not win a lot of games, but when the games that it does win, it at least kills 1 or 2 players. Yeah, have at it if you like it. It's Infect. It's some combo. It's a lot of synergy, and have fun. Okay. So what's the next thing here? Next item on the list. If you are watching the stream for the first time, welcome. Thank you for coming by. The 2 things that I had that I talked about for the stream included 1, the Ultra Highlight for Yuriko, the Tiger's Shadow. And let's see, I'm just going to show it right there because that's where the camera is. Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow, after Stanley ArtGerm's Psylocke from X-Men. Yeah. So that's Yuriko, and then we just finished talking about Vela. Right now, we're on the Moxville page where you can see that. That's cool. Hey, Marissa, how you doing? Captain Magic Altered. Thanks for stopping in. And yeah, sweet dreams, I guess. Say hi to Johnny for me. Take it easy. Hope it's nice and sunny over there in France. See you soon. I hope we can connect later, actually, Marissa, and then maybe we could play some Commander games again. But yeah, have a good one. See you later. But no, we're not done. We're not done with the stream. We're not done because we're still going to do the third piece. So it's going to be funky. But while I'm on this screen, I'm literally just going to be play testing decks that I've created on Moxfield. So you might be thinking why or how can I play test on Moxfield? You know, I can play test by playing the actual cards. Maybe I'm just running through the scenarios in my mind, whatever. But if you have a big enough desktop, your desktop computer, a big enough monitor, I should say, you have a big enough monitor, and you want to just play test your decks out against your other decks, you can. Now, this is with a caveat that if you do this, you're seeing all your hands. But why do I think this is great? It allows you to figure out essentially what kind of decisions would you make and what kind of deals would you make. It's not like you're making it with yourself. Yes, when you do the playtest, you will, but you could make those same decisions or those same negotiations with your friends, opponents, in future in real life games. So do whatever it is that you want. Oh, Marissa, yeah. Nicole Balas, yes, very cool. I forget which one you had. I wonder if it's the one that flips or if it's the one that deals damage and then they discard lands. I forget which one it was. But have a good night. And yes, let's try to connect. I want to reach out again. Happy New Year, too. Okay. All right, so we're still on the screen, which is fine, but I'm going to go to how I do playtesting. Oh, actually, I want to go to Moxfield. Yep, how do I approach playtesting? So this is what I do. I have all my decks in Moxfield, right? I have all my decks in Moxfield, and right now I think I have 50 plus decks. I don't even remember how many. But my most recent deck that I built was, that I am currently building, is Toph, the First Metal Bender. So I'm going to go ahead and just click that. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and, yeah, you know what? We talked about Vela. Let's see if Vela is going to kick some ass. So every now and then, if I got nothing to do in the house, or if I'm not hanging out with the fam or going out to eat or whatever, and I want to just relax and just play some Magic, I'll get on Moxfield and just play test my decks. I played some Virtual Magic over Spell Table recently, literally yesterday, and that was my Magic fix as far as playing with friends. But if I want to get my Magic fix and I want to see how my decks do, I could play it like this. Let's see. So we're gonna playtest Vela, and another thing that I do with my playtesting. Hey, what's up, boy?
Can I watch on your phone?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, go. Love you, boy.
What's your password?
No, go talk to Mama. She knows it. I don't want to talk about it right now. Okay, so, what was I gonna say? Shoot. Yeah, we'll play Vela. That's cool. Let's get it in. Oh yeah, I was gonna say another thing I like to do is I like to keep an eye on not just how decks win, but the frequency of the percentage, the win rate of how many times this deck could win if playing against other similar type decks or lower or even higher, whatever. And I do this by I maintain a spreadsheet. It sounds kind of crazy, but I've been maintaining this thing for about like 6+ years, and I keep track of the win rate of these decks. And I don't know who else is watching, but if you are and want to suggest my last deck that I want to play test against, go ahead and throw it in the chat. Right now I have Toph, the first Metal Airbender. I'm sorry, the first Metal Bender. My bad. I have Vela, and then I have Bruna, and then let's see which other one I want to play. Okay, we'll play this. The Balrog / Treebird. So this is another fun deck that I built earlier this year, earlier last year, 2025. And I was kind of I just felt like maybe I could just partner commanders from Lord of the Rings, and it seemed kind of odd, but I said why not, because they're like very ancient creatures. They probably could have been friends, who knows, whatever, but these are partners, so I'll play that one. Okay. And as you're playtesting, of course, you'll follow normal rules like mulliganing and all that. So I think I was at 7. I need to go to the next one at 7. I don't have lands. Let's go to 6, see what happens. So there are 2 lands, but I have to go down to 6. So I think the right choice would be to bring down Urtai Resurrected. And we'll put that, mulligan that down. And I'll remove my face and frame there for the sake of consistency and ultimate viewing. Maybe play some music so you guys aren't bored, and we'll go from there. So I'm mulligan down to 6 for Vela, that's fine. Toph has some good amount of lands. So does my Treebeard deck and then my Bruna deck, so I think we can move on. Yeah. All right, let's get some music going, actually. And put it on the down low. Let's see, here we go. I don't know, what do you guys feel like hearing? Maybe a little Final Fantasy, maybe a little bit of Street Fighter. Let's give that a go. Put on low. Okay. Music's going. I think we'll play test some decks. Maybe we'll do 2 or 3 games and then we'll stop. But have fun with that. And if any of these things inspire you to make decks like these or play test it the way this is, that's cool. I mean, I play tests like this because sometimes I just don't have enough time to go out to the shops and then just play. So how do I do that? I do it in the comfort of my own home and make sure I can see how they all work out. All right, enjoy. Okay, so Vela, Toph, Treebeard, Balrog, Bruna. And let's start the game off. And I'm just going with Vela first, and everything else is just kind of random. I could randomize it, of course, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get into that amount of detail. We'll play Urza Saga first. That's cool. Go to Toph. Always play your tap lands first. I've seen some people play their tap lands later. I'm like, what? If you had it in your hand, why not just play it first? Stomping Ground, okay. Seachrome Coast from Bruna, move on. Take up Urza Saga. Dark Slick Shores, play Demir's Signet. Toph coming in. Nothing to play. Okay. And I think this is an Urborg. Usually I don't play Urborg until I need it. I don't want other people to benefit off of Urborg, so I usually do not play Urborg early in the game. So I'll just get a Goblin Bombardment out. Next, Azorius Chancery. So the bounce land forces my Seachrome Coast to come back to my hand, and I have 8 cards. Bruna's great. I could put my auras into the graveyard because she later on recurs them. So I'll do that. Vela ticks up on Urza Saga. I'm going to tap it for 1 before it goes. I'll get my Sol Ring. Sol Ring's awesome. Corazon. Got to love kids, no filters about when it's proper to ask a question. Yeah, my son came in And yeah, he asked what my password was from my phone, and I politely told him we couldn't talk about that now. Okay, I floated 1, which is cool. I was talking about Phyrexian Metamorph on the stream earlier when the deck tech was happening. So usually I do it with Thran Dynamo or Gilded Lotus, but I floated a 1. So I'm just going to copy... What am I going to copy? 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to copy quite yet. I'm going to do Tezzeret the Seeker. I'm going to untap. Oh, wait. I should float this one. Yeah, I'll float that one. Untap both of these. So I have 1 in the air. 2, 3. Why not? Because I don't necessarily have to lose life. I'm going to play a Phyrexian Metamorph copying my Soul Ring. Awesome. Okay, that was turn 3. And again, we don't really have some early mana, so Stomping Grounds is going to have to come in tapped. Wait, you know what? I'm gonna show my face again. I don't know if you guys are more interested in me talking with my face up on the face cam. Okay, third turn. Great Hall of the Citadel. Pretty good card because there's a lot of legendaries in this deck. I think it's natural. I think it's natural to first play Scurry Oak before Rosie Cotton does her thing. 1, 2, and she's a 1/1. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to figure that out later. That's fine. Seachrome Coast again. And Tezzeret is out here untapping artifacts. And he's going to summon or bring in artifacts from the library very soon. Okay. We'll go ahead and do that. Since we did not have a creature, that's okay. But what I feel like doing is -4 on Tezzeret to get a Thran Dynamo. Because I have something in hand, which is really cool. And it's called Blightsteel Colossus. Okay, what do I want to do? Should I play this card? Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll definitely hold a mana for mana drain. But I think for now, what I could do is play Vraska. 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know what? I'll do the Phyrexian mana, lose 2 life. That's okay. Comes in with 4 counters instead. Leave up the 2 blue mana. What I can do is draw a card and lose a life, proliferate, so do that. Lose a life, draw a card. And yeah, I'll save my mana for later. That's cool. Now, what I'll probably save my mana for is not to counter Toph, because in a sense, the Toph deck is slow right now. But I usually want to counter Bruna if I'm playing against Bruna, because Bruna is just freaking gross. But let me play my land. This card I might end up countering, and naturally I want to play either Toph. In this case, I want to play Forgotten Ancient. Now, I don't necessarily have to counter it, but it's a good thing to counter. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because if this thing sticks around too long, it's going to be able to kill off a lot of things, and I don't like that. So I get 4 mana out of that. That's cool. Forgotten Ancient goes to the graveyard. We'll move on. Hey, and if you're watching and you don't know, how to playtest your decks, just, you know, shoot me a note and I could help you out. Badlands is coming down. I guess we're going to play Rosy Cotton. Or actually we'll play... Oh man, there's some good stuff that could result from this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. White mana from the Great Hall, the Citadel. And we'll play Treebeard. Gracious Host. Get two foods. And what does this do? When it evolves, you get to put a creature, a squirrel token into play. Okay, so what happens here? Obviously, I'm going to attack into Tezzeret because he's a problem. Tezzeret dies. That's okay. Alright, next is Bruna. Oh, man. Well, obviously not knowing what's going on in the Vela deck, Bruna is probably going to respond by killing off Vraska. So do that here with the Detention Sphere. And what is actually happening? There's a lot of stuff targeting Vela because it ended up getting a lot of artifact mana out fast. So naturally that becomes the archenemy. Okay, so I had 4 mana earlier. I have 2 Soul Rings because of the Phyrexian Metamorph and my Thran Dynamo. Let's play Halimar Depths. Look at the top 3 cards of my library. I think I'm going to do it like this.
Mama's not here.
Okay, hold on.
And Kaya isn't doing it.
Okay, here, it's open now.
And
Just don't... You know where to find YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting Phyresis on top and then 2 lands right after that. I have 4 mana, 4, 7, 9, 11, 12, which is the cost of Blightsteel Colossus. Unfortunately, I would have liked to play out Equilibrium, but I can't. So 4, 7, 9, 4, 7, 9, 11, 12. Blightsteel Colossus comes out. That's turn 5. Seems pretty good. Now, the Bruna player is probably like, what the hell? Okay, we'll play Toph next. Think naturally, in this situation, it's probably going to have to be Toph. And we'll put, at the end step, 2 counters on this to make it an Earthbent creature. That's okay. Now, what happens with this deck? There's some shenanigans with my Lord of the Rings, you know, Rule 0 partner deck. That is artifact, token, creation heavy, cards like this I'm about to play. Reckless Fireweaver, for whenever artifacts come in, it hits opponents, etc. It did not trigger Evolve. That's fine. Let's go ahead and play Rosy Cotton. Oh, Rosy Cotton. So when she ETBs, I think she creates a food token. That's cool. That triggers Reckless Fireweaver. Deals the damage to everyone. And it also does something else. Whenever you create a token, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control other than Rosy Cotton. So we'll put it on Scurry Oak. Then that creates a squirrel token. Oh my god. I forgot, but this, if I'm not mistaken, this creates the infinite combo that I forgot that I put in the deck. So because you I created a squirrel token that then allows me to put another counter on a creature. And then when that creature gets, when the Scurio creates a creature, or it puts a counter on it, I put a creature token into play. Oh my god. Okay. So that happens. Then I put a +1/+1 counter. Then it happens again. Let me read that way. Right. Let me make sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Whenever I create a token, so a Squirrel token comes in, I put a +1/+1 counter on a creature I control other than it. So it puts another counter on him. And then when I put a counter on Scurryoak, whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on this creature, I may create a squirrel token. Okay, so infinite counters. Let's just go to like 100 or whatever. Let's go to 39. Sure. That creates basically that many squirrels. Well, actually, what I want to do is I want to create a number of squirrels that will kill off the table because of Goblin Bombardment. So let's just say it's 150, because why not? Then I have 150 counters on this thing. And I guess in this case, what am I going to end up doing? I can actually, let's see, one more counters. Yep. So I could kill someone just by combat damage with Scurryoak. And then I guess I'll put the last counter to stop the combo from happening on Treebeard. And then what I'll end up doing, so I'll kill Bruna, the Bruna player off, which is fine. There's no way to offset that. And then I'll just kill everyone else. I'll do 39 plus 36 damage total. That's 75 damage. I'll kill everyone off with 75 different tokens. It's half of my tokens. And Treebeard won the game. I wanted to have Vela win the game, to be honest. But at that point, what I could have done instead of Blightsteel Colossus was maybe use Deadly Tempest. Yeah, I guess I could have done Deadly Tempest, but I would not have known what was happening. And just killing off two creatures didn't make sense to me. Tree folk on their own aren't that dangerous, but you combine it with a card like Rosie Cotton, and shit starts going in haywire. Okay. Well, that was game one. I don't know. Let me see if people are interested. I don't know if I have that spreadsheet up. Where is that spreadsheet? You know what? I'm not going to show it. I'll show it next time. So this time we will continue to play Vela because we want her to win. But we'll switch out these other commanders. Man, I wanted to highlight Toph because I'm still trying to figure out how to optimize the deck. Well, we'll restart Vela to go to game 2. We'll play a different pod. I don't know if there's still anyone that's out there watching. Help me choose a deck, and we can playtest Vela on game 2. Choose a pair of colors, or multicolor, or single color, and I'll choose the other two decks to play against it. Maybe Gave. I was talking about Gave during the stream. And maybe I'll play Queen All in All. Man, I should have streamed the pod that I was playing on Spell Table yesterday because I went off of Queen All in All. It was awesome. And let's play a deck where I recently updated it to include Vivi, Ornitier. What was the reason, or what was the recent deck? I think it was Kaikar. Okay, so play Kaikar. So tokens and tokens and tokens versus non-tokens. This probably seems okay. I would prefer to have a little bit more mana rocks. We'll mulligan Kaikar. Keep Kaikar on that one. I think we're gonna mulligan Gave. Keep that one. That one seems pretty good. Mulligan on Queen. Not better, but we'll see. Okay, we'll play that one. We'll keep Vela first again. Usually I just switch it out and try to randomize it, but I'm not going to do that because I just want to see how Vela does. I know how it does. It's kind of a less than 30% win rate commander. So if it doesn't win, it's fine. It's all good. In this case, would I prefer to play Chrome Mox so I can maybe get a Trinket Mage out second turn so I could get a Sol Ring? No, I'm not going to do that. Tap lands always go first. God dang it. This is pretty good. I won't lie. I like Battle Screech. But maybe it'd be better if I'm... God dang it. Yeah, you know what? I think Battle Screech is going to go. We'll exile it to Chrome Mox. Bring out Trinket Mage. Get my Sol Ring. Yeah, and just quick question, but if you're searching out a card like Sol Ring and it's possible because of Trinket Mage, or if you detutor on turn 2, what are you actually looking for? What are you actually looking for? Put it in the comments. If it's not Sol Ring, I don't know. Maybe it's another card that you think you need that's better. All right, so let's shuffle the deck. Okay, so in this predicament where there's not that many good blue... Oh, no, we do have blue. We have more than one blue. Okay, so I'll play Equilibrium. Finnerlin the boy. Thank you for the subscription. That's awesome. Hope you like the content. If it's your first time here, welcome. Also, you missed out on... why is that doing that? That needs to go above everything. Okay. Yeah, if you like the content, that's great. You missed out. I did an altar highlight from Sublime TG Altars for Yuriko. If you didn't get a chance to see that, let me know and I'll stop what I'm doing and show it. Otherwise, you missed out also on Vela Deck Tech, Vela the Night-Clad, and I'm playtesting it right now. Really with myself. It sounds kind of lame, but it's a way to playtest out your decks. Okay. So some really cool things are happening here. We'll shock in that to get... Actually, I guess we could do Sol Ring first, then bring in Kaikar. And if you shop on TCG Player, I forgot to mention this in the plugs in the beginning, but if you shop on TCG Player and want to use my my TCG player link because I'm sponsored. Then you could click on that and make your next purchase. All right, naturally, I think at this point it's probably okay to play a game changer called Aura Shards. Everyone knows what that does, I think. And Priest doesn't really do anything else at this point, but it can attack, so I'll do that. And Queen All Null is actually a good commander to attack into before she gets out, because she just creates a shit ton of tokens. Okay. And looks like at this point it's just gonna have to be Queen. Yep, that's okay. Oh, the music ended. Let's get the music back in again. See what else this website has to offer. All right, we are in turn 4. That means I could play a land. I'll hold up mana for now for my counter magic. Would be nice to have a mana drain, but I don't. It's okay. I have a feeling with the ramping that's going on, and then removal opportunities from Aura Shards, that it's either going to be a Agave or a Kai card game. Let's see. What is happening? The music conked off. Let's play it. Okay, anyway, we are back at Kaikar, which is cool. What are we going to do? Honestly, I think it's going to have to be... Might have to be opposition, because I don't want Aura Shards blowing up shit. 2, 3, 4... Opposition, I get a spirit. And what I want to do is I want to prevent the Agave player from blowing up my stuff. So I'm going to tap down their lands during the upkeep. Oh, hey, yeah. I don't know if you saw Finnerland. I don't know if you saw the Yuriko as I was debuting it, but if you want to look at it more closely, and I could turn it at a few angles, I could do that really quick. Let me see. Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. Yeah, really happy you bought it, brother. It's an amazing card. It's an amazing altar, and you will not be disappointed. 1 second. Play testing, live box openings. Yeah, it's ready in the hard case. I'm going to put it in the priority mailer tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, today, and we'll get you the tracking number. But yeah, it's going to be inbound. It is really a beautiful card, and I am glad it's going to a happy owner. Congratulations again on making that purchase. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so I think we're done ogling at the Psylocke Yuriko altar. We'll move back to the gameplay. All right. Cool. We played opposition. We're gonna tap down lands. I think we're not gonna attack or anything just yet. So upkeep, tap these 3 lands because I don't want them to be used for anything. And then why not? Can't play anything else. Bajuka Bog. Did I have that initially? Usually if I have Bajuka Bog initially in my hand, I'll keep it, it's fine, but I'll wait for more cards to go in people's graveyards. But because I'm tapped out, I just have to play something, and that ends up being the card now. Okay, what I want to do. I guess we'll play Toski Bear Secrets. And I think... Oh man. Thinking on it now, I probably should have countered the opposition with the Vela deck. Yeah, because that would be really dumb. We'll let it go for now. Toski Bear Secrets, drawing cards. No one likes that. Yeah, I suppose we'd have to counter that. Undermine, great card. 3 life lost. No good, but Queen's going in, so that's 1 commander damage. Okay, we are going to... yeah. Okay, that's fine. Moving on. Actually, I suppose there would be some negotiation of some kind, trying to figure out whether or not Aura Shards, the Aura Shards player, is bad. I think it's a good thing that I didn't actually counter it because opposition, in my mind, would benefit me while he taps down his creatures. So I think there'd be some negotiation there. Arcane Signet, create a spirit. Play Academy Rector. And I guess we're going to continue to... Oh, wait, hold on. No, that's definitely something that needs to get countered. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to counter Academy Rector. We don't want to have that thing triggering when it dies. Yep, so we'll do that. 3 mana, counter it with Urtai. And gets to draw a card. Oh, cool. It's a land. I can play it. Alright, that's fine. 4 lands, tap 4 of them. That's okay. Doing the upkeep. 1 damage from City of Brass. And I guess why not? 1 damage in this way. Okay, let's keep moving. Not much going on, unfortunately. Let's do 3 this way. And then can't really do anything else but attack. So Queen all in all actually gets in for attacks. If you could get it in early, even though she's just a 1 or 2, you want to do that. But she gets huge real fast, just not really apparent this time. Alright, Corazon, take it easy. And have a good one yourself. Okay, finally a land, that's cool. We'll tap 5 for our Get a Lotus. Eventually that gives us either Omniscience mana or Cyclonic Rift mana, which is fine. I countered the Academy Rector, but I think it's fine to hit the Gave player. maybe what I'll do is I'll bounce aura, then just counter it later. Or the Kaikar player could just do it himself. And this is a great card. I'm going to play it 2 white, and then I'll kick it. 1, 2, 3. So this says Dismantling Blow. 3 plus 3 if you kick. That's 6. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If it was kicked, draw 2 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to draw 2 cards. Then I get my spirits, or my 1 spirit. And you're probably asking why the heck is Underworld Breach in here. Now, I mean, it's good, but I like to keep the option open if I want to make it high level power 4, or I would say mid range power 4. I think what I want to do is I want to play Goblin Bombardment as well. And for what it's worth, I'm not going to discard my hand to Wheel of Fortune because I like Tamio the Moon Sage, and of course I don't want to discard Underworld Breach now. So I'll leave that way. But what did I target with the Dismantling Blow? It's going to be the Aura Shard, so that goes away. Good to go. I don't have to tap creatures anymore. I can attack now. So we'll do that. This time I think it'd be better to attack the Vela player. And then maybe I'll just attack the Queen player. Okay, so what do we do here? We'll just play out Gave. What do we do with this? Exile Tamio, that's fine. Put 4 counters on this battle, give it to the Vela player. And attack the battle, so that's 2, 3, that's 1 more left. I like Invasion of Gobakon. It's a great card. Okay. Leave up mana for Mana Drain or Gilded Lotus. Okay. 3 over here. I don't know. I don't know if Moon's Tamio was the best choice. It might have actually been better to get rid of Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I guess what we'll try to do is we'll play Underworld Breach. Does the Vela player want to counter Underworld Breach? Playing Underworld Breach is just never good, ever. Yeah, we're going to counter it. We only get 2. So 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's enough for omniscience. That's cool. Well, that's countered. 2, 3. Sun Forger. Oh, I get another spirit. Forgot. On both of those. Oh, and I didn't get a spirit for the dismantling blow. The hell? Okay. We'll sack those two dudes. 3. Actually, 3. And we'll play Wheel of Fortune. But I'm going to counter that. Counter, and I guess it makes sense to draw a card. That's okay. Well, I'm going to go in then. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. I mean, I had the mana. Why not? I don't want to lose the cards that are in my hand. And that's all that I can do. That's fine. Create a sapling. Take a damage. Now, I didn't like playing Primal Vigor just yet, but I might feel like it's needed right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. 1 to create 2 more tokens. One to create more tokens. Okay. And Invasion of Gobakon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what, it's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's okay. 6 for Austere Command. Kill this. We'll kill enchantments, and we'll kill creatures of power 4 or greater. I think as a last resort for Goblin Bombardment goes, we'll kill him and him. And then her. Can I do that only as a sorcery? Okay, in response, sack these 2. Here's 2 life. And then draw a card, sacrifice a creature. Oh, that dies anyway. Yep, okay. Alright, next. We had 2 mana for Mana Drain, 3 for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Omniscience. That's totally fine. What we can do at this point is not much, so we're gonna go to the turn here for Kaikar. Right, get the damage in. Okay, naturally it's going to be Return to Dust is going to hit Omniscience. And actually I feel like Sunforger is the better call here. Okay. Nemata. So I feel like Nemata on the surface it doesn't look that great, but in Gave it's awesome. What did we do? We did that, then Nemata, okay. Play Vela. Oh man. Wild Research. Cool card, but I only put it in there because because I have it in foil. Ugh. The Kaiko player needs to die eventually. Go on like this. And we'll go like this. Three, four, five, six, seven. Well, Vela has to win somehow. Is it through Infect? I don't know. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Float 1. What am I floating? What am I gonna try to kill? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. I think I'll borrow Kaikar. Kaikar? Or maybe Nemata. Kaikar's flying. Yeah, we'll do that. Borrow Kaikar. Okay, I guess since that happened, might be a good idea to get an instant with wild research. We'll see what happens. Maybe a Swords to Plowshares on my own Kaikar. Or I think it's Tear. No. White-red card that hits enchantments and artifacts. You could fuse it. Which one is that? Wear and Tear. Is that in the... Did I not put it in this? Okay, whatever. Swords to Plowshares, and then we'll randomize. Flip a coin. Discard at random. Heads, swords, tails, mountain. Oh, feck. Okay, whatever. We'll leave a mana for some, or we'll leave it in hand for something later. Maybe do it again, I guess. A braid? Jeez. Do the same thing again. Heads, a braid, tails, plateau. Wait.
I have to open two doors.
Oh my god. What's that, Gio?
I was talking to myself.
Oh, okay. Do it again. At this point, what is even in the deck? Guess I could do Generous Gift. Flip a coin, same deal. Alright, finally. Actually, no. We're gonna destroy the Corrupted Conscience. I should have just done that in the first place. Okay, well this might just end up being the game ender right here. Craterhoof Behemoth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 7, plus 7. Plus 7, plus 7. And I don't know if that kills everyone, but it's a lot of damage. Let me read Wild Research again one more time. Yeah. You know, it's actually not a bad card. I just love it because it's foil. It's one of those OG foils. Plus 7, plus 7. Okay. 8, 16, 24, 34. $34 minus 3 if they block. It's 31, so Kaikar dies. And we want to severely injure these other people. 12, 21. 12, 21 plus 9, 30. 30 minus 4, 26. Midnight Blue 9999. Thanks for the subscription. If you've been sticking around, that's awesome. Thanks for that. We were still calculating out Crater Hoof Behemoth damage, so I think this was plus 7, that's 12, plus that's another 9, 21, 30 damage. If I hit the Vela player, 30 minus 4 is 26, minus 5, 21 minus 3, 18 if I block. And I'd be at 5 left. I think it's okay if I block like this. Oh no, I'd have to block. I have to block all of them. So 30 against 7. Yeah, that's 23 exactsies. We're gonna have to block with everyone. 1, 2, 3. Everyone loses 3 life. Okay, that's okay. Well, they get exiled. So the good thing is Vela has leaves the battlefield trigger, so it's not dying. So Namada triggers, but Vela doesn't not trigger, if that makes any sense. So that's 3. I think is a creature, a card, or any creature. You know what, I might have actually been missing some of the Vela triggers, or I'm sorry, Namada triggers. So that's at least 3 there. Freaking hard casting Crater of Behemoth, that's kind of weird. Okay, Mondrak is coming out. What we're gonna actually do is just kill off the battle finally. Okay, kill off the battle. Flip it. Very cool. And we got soldiers. Just one soldier. Not that one. It's the other soldier. Yep. But I create 2 of them. Okay. Squirrels. Squirrels. I think it's 4. Yeah. And that Cyclonic Rift is coming in good here. Turn everything. So the only thing I could really do is just play my bird. Oh, there's Queen all in all. She's in here. Okay, so that did something good for now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't want to use Ancient Tomb quite yet. I mean, bang for buck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bang for buck, it wouldn't make sense for me to use Creator of Behemoth just yet. So I'll do this instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get this guy in. For those dudes, and because I don't really know what's in his hand, but I want to get the most out of it. I don't want to just kill one player and not kill both players. Played this land. 1, 2, 3. Tap this for 1. The skull clamp in. Tap 1. This on him, that's okay. Oh, the music ended. Maybe some Final Fantasy this time. Let's play some Final Fantasy. I'm okay with that. That happened. There's no reason to believe the Vela player has any sort of anything after that Cyclonic Rift. So it's like to play out all of these creatures for a Crater Hoof next turn. Okay, let's do it. I don't have to use Ancient Tomb, that's okay. So this is what happens. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you're paying attention in the stream earlier, I talked about Rite of Replication being an alternate win con with Vela in play. That was a good top deck from the last turn. We didn't use Ancient Tomb because we survived. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We want to play Rite of Replication and then kick it. So that'll be an additional cost of 5. It copies Vela 5 times. And that will have basically 6 triggers, but for 5 creatures dying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiply that by 6 triggers for leaving the battlefield. So everyone loses 30 life. So that came in clutch at the end for Vela. But that was a Vela style kind of win if it wasn't through Infect. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I will play a second game. Play testing. I'm sorry, that was the second game. Now we're going to play a third game. This time we'll play with a different different set of commanders. Vela won that one. She lost the last one. We'll try out. Do a CDH fun one, just for the hell of it with Joyra. I think Joyra is kind of fringe CDH right now, but this is a very CDH list. There might be 3 or so cards that don't really belong, but whatever. Maybe a Kiri Lineslinger and one more. We'll try Grenzo out. Okay, so I don't really like this too much, but one land hand with the scrying ETB. At least if I see a land, that's great. If I don't, then I could put it down and then play Soul Ring next turn, hopefully with a second land. Akiri, we're gonna have to mulligan for her. I think this is fine because you have a Mister's Workshop. And then we can get a Triome, bring it into play tapped, then play second turn Krog Clang Ironworks. Soul Ring with a land, first turn is always okay, but ideally 2 lands. We had that with Michiko. Okay, play the land. It is not a land. Let's put that on the bottom. We will name Artificer with Cannon of Souls. Got a Triome. It's going to be a Savai Triome. No, not Savai. I think it's the other Triome that I want. Rogren Triome. Fetch land it up. Okay, play. And I think, in a sense, Bojuka Bog, do I need to play that now? I don't have to. So I'll just play Soul Ring. Oh, no land. It's alright. Joyra. So really I don't want to play any of the 0 mana artifacts yet until I can at least take advantage of Metalworker. Okay, I think the natural requirement from this point, we're just going to ramp it up again, play some Simulacrum, get a Mountain.
Huh?
Okay, finally a land. That's pretty good. We are going to play our Master Transmuter. Man, I really want to play out Vivi or Natir on Joyra. Hopefully we can get a land on this turn. Yes, we got a land. Search out a Volcanic Island. And I think it's fine if we played Metalworker. The problem with Metalworker is it's always an easy target. But we'll see. Oh. One, two. Search out a really cool equipment. I'd have to be Sword of Fire and Ice to draw cards. Look at that. How many things can I play of Fires of Invention? Oh, 2 spells. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 1 spell, and I'll play my 2nd spell. That's pretty good. Man, Fires of Invention and Grenzo is just awesome. Because by the time you really want to take advantage of Grenzo, you probably don't have much of a hand, and but if you did have a hand, it's probably just enough to do 1 or 2 spells, and you can just do that for free, and then take advantage of the bottom of deck manipulation with Grenzo. Okay, that's okay. Guess we'll get 2 in over here. Two mana, 1, return it to my hand. Bring in a Kabotha Forge Master. I have 2 mana floating. Bring that back down. And I guess that's it. That was kind of weird, but whatever. Was there an opportunity to do something awesome? Maybe kill Metal Worker. Oh. Would that have been the right choice? Yeah, actually that would have been the right choice. I didn't even see the Swords of Plowshares in the Akiri deck. Okay, no matter. Let's go nuts with Joyra. So we're gonna go 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. 6 mana left. Draw a card. Do a storm count. Storm count 2. So I have 6 mana left. I drew a card. Storm count 3. Draw cards. 4 mana left. 4 mana left. Blue. Let's go with blue. Master Thopterus. 2 mana. 3 mana left. Six, 4, 3. Still 3 mana left. 2 mana left. Two mana left. Play a land. Man, VV would have been so awesome right now. Damn it, I probably should have done that. 2 mana left still. I got a Thopter. 2, 3. Get another Thopter. Exile this thing that produces a red. Oh, I could get VV now. Draw a card. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Thopters. So 4. It's 6. Minus 2 is 4. Minus 1 is 3. Minus 1 is 2. Okay, so I have 2 left. 2. Just 2 left still. 2 2 left still. Oh man, it's gonna get ugly. Yeah, Vivi is a freaking powerhouse. This is gonna go insane. So I have 2 left. I'm gonna use 1 for Grim Monolith. Trigger Vivi. 1 damage. I don't think this is gonna end well at all. I have 1 left. 1 left. Three, 4 minus 3, 4, 5. Do this thing. Oh, what's a storm count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's happening? 7 storm count. I did 3 plus 1, 4 plus the blue. That's 5. I only needed 3, so I have two colorless left. And I'm gonna target. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna target any number of non-land permanents to my hand. Then I draw cards. So 2 mana left, 2 colorless. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because I don't really need metalwork anymore. 10. And we'll keep defense grid in the play. Or in hand, 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doctor. And Vivi is just so good. It's dumb. All that damage. I mean, not even ready to use the mana that comes out of Vivi. I have 2 mana left still. Yeah, this is turn 4 CDH style Jorah. It's just so good. I would like another blue though. Okay, that's 2. One left. Yeah, I mean, it's not even fair at this point anymore. One mana left. No one's really playing blue. I'll just do Red Elemental Blast. 1, 2. One, 2 for this guy. Still have 1 mana left. What am I going to do with it? I mean, at this point, it's the game's ended. Lots of damage. Keep drawing everything. Kill off all these other players. So Joyo did its CDH thing. That's okay. That's the way it's designed. Everyone had a good, well, not everyone had a good time just watching it. And then we'll just finish off with either Flux Reservoir, Grave Shot, or just let VV kill the table with like 30 more draws, and it's all good. Okay. With that, we're gonna go ahead and end the 3-game series that we did to try to test out Vela. Vela I've had for a long time anyway, so it's not like I really needed to play test her. Turns out I wanted to see how VV was going to do in the Joyra deck. Joyra and VV did not disappoint, so that was awesome. And Grenzo would have been cool to see Fires of Invention pop off a little bit more and hopefully just start stomping face. I really like the Grenzo deck too. Goblins, Goblin Typal, Tribal, whatever it is you want to say nowadays with that. Gets in some infinites if it has the opportunity to, and there's also Doomsday in there. So it's kind of a high floor for Grenzo. And then Akiri, the typical combat damage for commander damage with her, and then Silas for the recursion aspect of it. Could have been fun, but honestly, it's very linear and kind of like Infect Poison, but it doesn't have to win that way. It just never was designed for that primary intent. We just didn't get there because Joyra sped up too fast, and I didn't save up mana for Swords to Plowshares because I was just very greedy trying to use Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, so I think what I want to do is I want to do one last time to show the Psylocke altar. And then talk, or just show the Vela deck again, and then close it out finally. So if you missed the first part of the stream, we got a chance to talk about the Yuriko altar that my wife Michiko did, and it's going to the customer tomorrow. It's going to be an awesome piece of mail that they're going to receive. And we talked about Vela before we did some playtesting on Moxfield. Pretty sweet deck. Check it out. I'm going to put it back in the comments, and y'all can hopefully check out all the different things that I'm involved with. If it's Sublime MTG Altars or the Alliance Military Magic Players. If you keep track of any of that, I am no longer in the Commander Format panel. That's totally fine. Wizards has selected a bunch of folks to replace the 5 of us, but they have brought the total Commander Format panel down to a lesser number now. Anyway, go check out the link to check out the Vela deck, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you all very much for sticking around. See y'all later.